My name is Yasmin Azizah Wahyudi, and I'm from University of Binasarana Informatika, and I am student of English literature. Today, this video is my first part of final exam project, and so we have two part of this, and first part is I will explaining about degree of comparison and correlative conjunction. So, what is degree of comparison? So, degree of comparison is a grammar rule that uses adjectives and adverbs to compare the qualities or actions of two or more people or things. Okay, there is three type of degree of comparison. So first is positive degree, whereas the comparison is used to describe one person or thing without comparing. For the example, Jimmy is tall. The second is comparative degree. Comparative degree usually used to compare two people or things with the pattern adjective plus er, and then plus than, or more plus adjective plus than. For the example is Lisa is taller than Anna. The third is superlative degree. So superlative degree is usually used to compare three or more things. For the pattern, it's usually used the plus adjective est or the most plus adjective. For the example, Lisa is the tallest student. This is our four examples. For the example 1, my laptop is faster than my old laptop. Example 2, today is hotter than yesterday. Example 3, Sarah is the smartest student in our class. The last example, the fourth example, this book is more interesting than that book. Real example from media for positive degree. Okay, the example, the Apple MacBook Air 13-inch M4 is a fantastic laptop for everyday use. The explanation, the adjective fantastic is in its best form. It's describe the quality of the laptop without comparing it to another laptop. Therefore, it is an example of the positive degree because there is no comparison at all. It's just straight telling the information. Second is comparative degree. This is the real example from media for comparative degree. Example is the MacBook Air 13-inch M4 offers better performance than its predecessor. Why is it comparative degree? Because there is a word better in the sentence. So the sentence compares two laptop models because there is, just like I said before, there is sentence. In the sentence there is better. So the word better is an irregular comparative adjective. Good to better. There's the different level in it. It shows that the newer MacBook Air has higher performance than the previous model. That's why it was comparative. And then for superlative degree, example, the Apple MacBook Air 13-inch M4 is the best laptop money can buy right now. Why is it superlative? The best is the superlative form of good. I mean the level, it's higher than better. It indicates that the MacBook Air is considered superior to all other laptop being compared. And then we have summary. Degree of comparison is used to compare. There are three forms. Comparative compares two things. Superlative compare three or more things, it is commonly used in daily communication. And then the second material is correlative conjunction. What is correlative conjunction? Correlative conjunction are pairs of conjunction that connect words, phrases, or clauses with equal importance. Well, the common pairs usually both and, either, or, neither, nor, not only, but also. For the function, they make sentences clearer and more balanced because they combine what is it called? The bridge to combine one word to next word and until they become new sentences. Type of correlative conjunction. The first is both and, meaning used to connect two people, things, or ideas that are both true or included. Example: both Ali and Budi passed the exam. Explanation: this sentence means Ali passed the exam and Budi also passed the exam. Either or, meaning used to show a choice between two alternatives, only one of them true or will happen. For the example, either you stay here or you go home. Explanation: the listener has two choices, but only one option can be chosen. Neither nor means used to show that both options are not true or both are excluded. For the example, neither Tom nor Jerry likes coffee. Explanation: this sentence means Tom does not like coffee and Jerry does not like coffee either. Not only, but also, meaning used to add extra information or emphasis by showing that two statements are both true, with the second one receiving more emphasis. Example: she is not only smart but also kind. This sentence means she is smart and in addition she is kind. It emphasizes that she has more than one positive quality. Then, 4 original examples. For the examples 1, both my parents and my sister love traveling. It shows that the parents and the sister love traveling. Example 2, either Rina or Sinta will present today. So that means Rina will not present today. Also, Sinta will not present today too. Example 3, neither my teacher nor my classmate were as absent. So no one is absent that day. The company not only increased profits but also created new jobs. So there is more than one thing that the company can do. Then, real example from media. First example, she loves both swimming and running. Explanation: this use both and to connect two parallel things that are both true. Example, second example, we can go to either Burger King or McDonald's. Explanation: this use either or to show a choice between two alternatives. Example 3. The third example, she seemed neither surprised nor worried. Explanation: the use neither nor to reject both options. Example 4, he is not only intelligent but also very funny. Explanation: this use not only but also to add emphasize and extra information. We don't know whether he is alive or dead. Explanation: this use whether and or to present two possible conditions or outcomes. Example 6. It was such a good movie that many people watched it. Explanation. This use such that to show a result caused by something's intensity or degree. The last example from media is she spoke so softly that nobody heard her. Explanation. This uses so that to show a result caused by the degree of an adjective or adverb. And the source I use for this example from media is from EnglishFit.com. Then summary. Correlative conjunction always work in pairs. They connect equal grammatical elements. They improve sentence structure. They are common in formal and academic English. I think that's the end for part 1. Bye! Hi, this is the second part of my final exam video project. And in this part, I have 3 paragraphs with 3 different material. And there is a lot of grammatical error that I need to fix. Okay, first is for relative clauses. The paragraph say, the student which won the competition is my friend. She met a professor whose book was published last year. The library where it was renovated recently is very modern. I have a classmate he studies linguistics every day. The laptop who I bought yesterday is already broken. The lecturer that she teaches syntax is very popular among students. The building which we discussed about yesterday will be demolished soon. The researcher whom article received an award works at a famous university. This is the campus where I studied for years. The scholarship which it was offered by the government attracted many applicants. So this is my analysis for the first error. Incorrect form is the student which won the competition is my friend. Why is it incorrect? Which is used to refer to things or animals, not people. Grammar rule violated. Use who or that for people. Correct form. The student who won the competition is my friend. Second error, incorrect form. She met a professor whose book was published last year. Why is it incorrect? The possessive relationship is expressed incorrectly. Grammar rule violated. Use whose to indicate possession in a relative clause. Correct form. She met a professor whose book was published last year. Third error, incorrect form. The library where it was renovated recently is very modern. Why is it incorrect? The relative adverb were already introduced the clause, so adding it creates a redundant subject. Grammar rule violated. A relative clause should not repeat the subject with an addition pronouns. Correct form. The library that was renovated recently is very modern. Fourth error, incorrect form. I have a classmate who he studies linguistics every day. Why is it incorrect? Whose cannot be followed by another subject pronoun. Grammar rule violated. Whose functions as a possessive determiner and must modify a noun. Correct form. I have a classmate who studies linguistics every day. Fifth error, incorrect form. The laptop who I bought yesterday is already broken. Why is it incorrect? Who refers only to people. Grammar rule violated. Use which or that for things. Incorrect form. The laptop that I bought yesterday is already broken. Sixth error. Incorrect form, the lecturer that she teaches syntax is very popular. Why is it incorrect? The pronoun she duplicates the subject already represented by that. Grammar rule violated. Avoid redundant subject pronouns in relative clauses. Correct form, the lecturer who teaches syntax is very popular among students. The seventh error, incorrect form. The building which we discussed about yesterday. Why is it incorrect? Discuss does not take the preposition about. Grammar rule violated. The verb discuss is transitive. Correct form. The building which we discussed yesterday will be demolished soon. The eighth error. Incorrect form. The researcher whom article received an award. So why is it incorrect? The possessive form is missing. Grammar rule violated. Use whose to express possession. Correct form. The researcher whose article received an award works at a famous university. The ninth error. Incorrect form. This is the campus where I studied. Why it is incorrect? That and where perform the same grammatical function in the sentence. Grammar rule violated. Do not combine two relatives markers. Correct form. This is the campus where I studied for 4 years. The 10th error, or the last error for this relative clauses, the incorrect form is the scholarship which it was offered by the government. Why it is incorrect? It repeats the subject already represented by which. Grammar rule violated. Do not repeat the subject with a pronoun. So the correct form, the scholarship which was offered by the government attracted many applicants. And this is the corrected paragraph I have combined. The student who won the competition is my friend. She met a professor whose book was published last year. The library that was renovated recently is very modern. I have a classmate who studies linguistics every day. The laptop that I bought yesterday is already broken. The lecturer who teaches syntax is very popular among students. The building which we discussed yesterday will be demolished soon. The researcher whose article received an award worked at a famous university. Oh my god. This is the campus where I studied for 4 years. The scholarship which was offered by the government attracted many applicants. We're moving to question 1 for degree of comparison and its grammatical error paragraph. My university is more large than the university in my hometown. Among all students in my class, Sarah is the most smartest student. This semester is more easier than the previous one. The library is the quietest. Yeah. The library is the quietest than the cafeteria. English is interestinger than mathematics for many students. My laptop is expensiver than my friend's laptop. Of the 3 presentations, John's presentation was more best. The new classroom is the more comfortable room in the building. Traveling by train is most cheap than traveling by plane. Today's weather is better than yesterday's weather. My analysis on this. First analysis, error, incorrect form, more large. Why is it incorrect? Large is one syllable adjective and takes the suffix "er." Rule violated. One syllable adjectives use "er," not more. Correct form, larger. Second error. Incorrect form, the most smartest. Why it is incorrect? Both est and most are used together. Rule violated. Do not use double comparison. Correct form, the smartest. Third error, incorrect form, more, easier. Why it is incorrect? Easy already forms its comparative with er. Rule violated, do not combine more with adjective ending in er. Corrective form, easier. Fourth error, incorrect form, the quietest than. Why it is incorrect? Superlatives are not followed by then. Rule violated, comparative use then. Superlatives compare within a group. Correct form, quieter than. Quieter than. Fifth error, incorrect form, interestinger. Why it is incorrect? Interesting is a multi-syllable adjective. Rule violated, multi-syllable adjectives use more. Correct form, more interesting. Sixth error, incorrect form, expensiver. Why it is incorrect? Expensive use more, because what is expensiver? What does it mean? Rule violated, multi-syllable adjectives use more. Correct form, more expensive. Seventh error, incorrect form, more best. Why is incorrect? Best is already the superlative. Rule violated, never combine more with an irregular superlative. Correct form, the best. The eighth error, incorrect form, the more comfortable. Why is incorrect? A superlative is needed because the sentence compares all room. Rule violated, use the most for superlatives with long adjectives. Correct form, the most comfortable. The ninth error, incorrect form, most cheap than. Why it is incorrect? Most forms superlative while than requires a comparative. Rule violated, comparative adjectives are used with then. Correct form, cheaper than. The last error from the second this degree of comparison. Incorrect form, better. Why it is incorrect? Bad has an irregular comparative. Rule violated, use irregular comparison forms. Correct form, worse. And then this is the corrected paragraph that I have fixed. My university is larger than the university in my hometown. Among all students in my class, Sarah is the smartest student. This semester is easier than the previous one. The library is quieter than the cafeteria. English is more interesting than mathematics for many students. My laptop is more expensive than my friend's laptop. Of the three presentations, John's presentation was the best. The new classroom is the most comfortable room in the building. Traveling by train is cheaper than traveling by plane. Today's weather is Today's weather is worse than yesterday's weather. Okay, the last question, the third question for correlative conjunction paragraph. Both the lecturer or the students were interested in the seminar. Either the manager and the staff members are responsible for the project. Neither the teacher or the students was prepared for the presentation. Not only does the library provide digital resources and also offers study spaces. The researcher is interested both in collecting data and to analyze the result. Whether meeting will be online and offline has not been decided yet. No sooner had the lecture started when several students arrived late. Scarcely had I finished my assignment that the lecturer announced new task. Such was the difficulty of the exam that so many students failed it. Rather, the professor than also the assistant conducted the workshop. This is my analysis on this paragraph. So for the first error, incorrect form both or. Why it is incorrect? Both must be paired with and. Rule violated. Correct pair both and. Correct form both the lecturer and the students. Second error, incorrect form either and. Why it is incorrect? Either pairs with or. Okay. Rule violated. Correct pair either or. Correct form either the manager or the staff members. Error 3. Incorrect form neither or. Why it is incorrect? Neither pairs with nor. Rule violated. Correct pair in neither nor. Correct form neither the teacher nor the students were prepared. Error 4. Incorrect form not only and also. Why it is incorrect? The required pair is not only but also. Rule violated. Correct the pair not only but also. Correct form not only does the library provide digital resources but also offers study space. Error 5. Incorrect form both in collecting data to analyze. Why it is incorrect? Those structures are not parallel. Rule violated. Elements joined by correlative conjunction must have parallel grammatical forms. Correct forms both in collecting data and analyzing the result. Error 6. Incorrect form whether and. Why it is incorrect? Whether pairs with or. Rule violated. Correct pair whether or. Correct form whether whether the meeting will be online or offline has not been decided yet. Error 7. Incorrect. No sooner when. Why it is incorrect? No sooner is paired with then. Rule violated. Correct pair no sooner than. Correct form no sooner had the lecturer started than several students arrived late. The 8th error. Incorrect form scarcely then. Why it is incorrect? Scarcely pairs with when. Rule violated. Correct pair scarcely when. Correct form scarcely had I finished assignment when the lecturer announced a new task. The 9th error. Incorrect form such that so many. Why is incorrect? The word so is redundant. Rule violated. The pattern is such that, not such that's all. Correct form such was the difficulty of the exam that many students failed it. Last error, the 10th error. Incorrect form rather than also. Why it is incorrect? The correlative conjunction is incorrectly formed. Rule violated. Correct pair rather than. Correct form rather the professor than the assistant conducted the workshop. And this is the paragraph that I have fixed. Both the lecturer and the students were interested in the seminar. Either the manager or the staff members are responsible for the project. Neither the teacher nor the students were prepared for the presentation. Not only those The library provides digital resources but also offers study space. The researcher is interested both in collecting data and analyzing the result. Whether the meeting will be online or offline has not been decided yet. No sooner had the lecturer started than several students arrived late. Scarcely had I finished my assignment when the lecturer announced a new task. Such was the difficulty of the exam that many students failed it. Rather, the professor than the assistant conducted the workshop. Alright, that's all from me. Thank you for watching and let's pray for my grade. Bye!